The Fairfield County Fair. First held in Lancaster, Ohio in October of 1850, through the years, it's remained the place for young and old to celebrate community, agriculture, family, and fun. Check out the art, the history, the animals, the games, the shows, the rides, the food, the tradition. Discover why people come from all over the Midwest to experience the Fairfield County Fair year after year. Keep up with what's going on year-round at the fair with Tim Voris.
Hi, it's Tim Voris, and thanks for tuning in to At the Fair, a educational program that brings you highlights and events, special people from the Fairfield County Fairgrounds, and what's going on in agriculture in Fairfield County. Today's special guest is Mr. Stan Smith.
Hi,
Stan, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
Good to see you, sir. Couple things. We're about 40-some days away from the Fairfield County Fair. A lot of things going on.
Oh, yeah, it's a busy time of year, especially for young people that are getting their projects ready.
Yeah. So at the Extension Office, you're the educator for agriculture.
I'm one of them, yes.
Okay. Some of the things that a young person or a family needs to consider at this point in time getting ready to go to the fair with their animal, what are some things or suggestions you have for them?
Well, a lot of it depends on what kind of an animal they're managing, but we tell the folks with market steers and some of the big beef animals that they need to probably be trying to get them off the farm or where they're housing them once or twice prior to the fair. A lot of times some of our young people will only have a beef project that this is the only time it's ever exhibited and perhaps haven't been off the farm very much. And beef animals, especially as they mature, can be like teenage boys that go to the big town for the first time. So we'd encourage them to be working with them and getting them off the grounds, maybe just putting them on the trailer, driving them around. The folks that have pigs and lambs, of course, are doing a lot of walking with those. Goats are the same way. Walk them a lot, train them to perform the way they want them to in the show ring. Actually, right now, 6 weeks before the fair is when our kids with market chickens are getting those baby chicks in. So they're just starting their project.
Yes. Yep.
And turkeys have been on feed now for probably a couple of months, probably got most of those sometime in May. So from a management standpoint, we're just...
Spend some time with your animal. Maybe take another look and an extra walk. Just get them adjusted to different things that they're going to see when they come to the fair.
Absolutely. You can imagine. Right now they're probably in a barn or a shed somewhere, and maybe not very many strangers coming in to see them. And tens of thousands of people are going to be coming to see them here in a few weeks at the fair. So it'll be an experience for them, the same as some of our younger exhibitors.
Now, we got some new things going on with our MQP program. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I can. We have a unique opportunity here in Fairfield County where our young people can not only take a pig or a lamb or a beef animal and raise it to have it evaluated in the show ring based on eye appeal and structural soundness and finish and those types of things, but we also have a program called the Muscle Quality and Performance Program, MQP for short, in those three species. And our swine and lamb exhibitors tagged in their animals back in early July.
Right.
And those critters, of course, are on feed. But as opposed to evaluating them on a live appearance basis, they'll be evaluated based on their meat quality. So coming up here in a few weeks, right before the fair, we'll take those lambs and those hogs to harvest, two different places, and their meat qualities will be evaluated, and the kids have an opportunity to visit with specialists from the OSU Animal Science Meat Lab to talk about what they're looking for as they create a product for the consumer. And then the beauty of it is these kids also in this project are responsible for marketing the meat that results from those two projects. So they will be either taking those the freezer pork or the freezer lamb back home to enjoy with their family, or they'll be marketing it to someone here in the county.
Boy, and when you talk about marketing, one of the nicest things that I've seen this year at the Ohio State Fair was a group of Lancaster kids that really did well with some beef projects. You want to talk a little bit about the hamburger and the different meats that these young people did this year?
Oh, absolutely. The Ohio Beef Council hosted what they call the Burger Battle. And in cooperation with Sullivan University down in Kentucky, were able to offer several $1,000s in scholarship funds. And the gist of this competition was teams of 2 students from the culinary arts programs around the state.
Right here at Lancaster High School.
3 teams from Lancaster High School, absolutely, and then 5 teams from other places around the state competed to create the perfect hamburger. And they were evaluated on not only their ability to create a good tasting hamburger, but on the presentation of that hamburger to the judge, and also their knife skills and their skills with timely preparation and those sorts of things. And we're excited to have been able to announce that Lancaster took the top 3 places in that competition, and each of those young people earned scholarship money towards attending Sullivan University, one of the top culinary arts programs in the country.
Well, that's so exciting. That's some great news about kids in our hometown doing really well at the state level. And I know the state fair, there's so much volume. If you didn't get a chance to go and see a lot of the livestock shows, many of the different events that were going on at the Ohio State Fair, you'll see those same type quality events at the Fairfield County Fair, and it's just a few short weeks away. But a lot of things going on in agriculture that people really don't realize is happening every day. So as these young people are getting their animals prepared, they're getting ready for the fair, when they get to the fair and we get them into where they need to be, and when they get into their pen and they get into their areas, any suggestions from your part on what you think are some good suggestions for them in managing their animal?
Well, it'll be much like it was back home. There are opportunities for them to get them out and exercise them. Our beef kids will take theirs into the show arena, which will be a new experience for some of those animals. So they'll have a chance to exercise them there. There's a little exercise area for our pork kids, our goat kids, and the others. So we'd encourage them to continue to work with them at the fair, get them comfortable. Obviously, there's manure to clean up and those types of things. The other thing we encourage not only the kids but our fairgoers to avoid doing is eating in the barns.
Correct.
As a lot of our media reported earlier this summer, we had some swine flu issues at a couple of fairs, and one of the unique things about swine flu, at least the strains that we experienced this year, is that it can be in some cases transferred to humans. So we encourage anyone who's working in a barn to use the sanitizers when they leave.
And we do place those at the exits of those areas and as you go in, just to make sure that you're taking care of yourself for your own personal safety and for making sure that you are safe and your kids wash their hands off coming in. If they pet an animal, wash them as they go out of those areas to make sure that they keep clean as they go to the other one so that nothing is transferred. And we've seen a lot of that this year with some of our superintendents and our different people that were out tagging. We were taking those safety measures with footies, making sure that we clean trailers and sanitize different things throughout the summer with that.
Yeah, the objective is to not only protect the swine herds and the other animals around the county, but also in those situations where a disease like swine flu can transfer to humans, that we make sure that we're not passing that around.
Yeah. Well, Stan, thanks for tuning in today. We certainly appreciate it. It is always a pleasure. You always have some great information for us at the Fairfield County Fair and for all of Fairfield County and the young people to educate them on their process of their animals. Thank you for tuning in and enjoying our program at the fair, an educational program. I'd like to thank our special folks at Nauman Signs, our great folks, J.T. Burcham, and the students that are learning how to do these programs here at Fairfield Christian Academy. Thank you. And don't forget, October 8th through the 14th, the Fairfield County Fair. It's always a pleasure to see you, and I will see you at the fair.